I'm Bonnie Evison, and I previously worked for AAL Thrivent, and I think that was our introduction to Habitat locally. It's a privilege to be so involved in such a meaningful way, especially on the construction end of Habitat, is that you know that you've helped somebody learn a skill and you've helped them toward a dream in a very hands-on way. And you've also gotten to meet with those people. That's another way our lives have been enriched, is being involved in other people's lives. And I think here, for me, we've also been enriched or enlightened with Habitat International. And to see our affiliate as part of something that's global. And it's humbling to be able to be part of something so global.
You know, you hear about people living in corrugated, with corrugated tin roofs that are rusting and falling apart and pallets for walls and stuff. And you see it on TV or in a movie and you go, God, that's a shame. But when you stand there and watch somebody come out of a place like that, because that's where they're living right now, holy mackerel. I mean, that's a super huge impact. I think family selection.
Yeah. Well, because we get to meet people and we get to encourage them and we get to hear their stories. And
then we get to follow them through the build process.
Yeah.
One of the things that I got an insight of being on the family selection committee is how many places in the valley are miserable places to have to live. The situations, the housing situations, the decrepitness of some of the places these people are living in was a shock to me, because this is not only
the lack of concern of some of the landlords here. Well, many of them are.
This is not only the paper valley. This is Happy Valley. This is a wonderful place, and But boy, there's some people that just, besides struggling financially, I think they're struggling health-wise, they're struggling emotionally, because they have a crappy place to go back to at the end of the day.
Well, we've also got another insight into what some immigrants deal with. A lot of them won't complain about conditions because they feel that they might be kicked out.
Yeah.
And where will they go then?
Yeah. So
that has never occurred to me as an individual. I never, ever, ever had to worry about something like that. I was always pretty confident that even when we were renting, that I would find a place to rent. So that is really real, and we can hear about it, but until you're speaking with somebody who's telling you that they're fearful of that, it becomes real.
I'd have to go someplace outside of the Fox cities. I think one of the most memorable is our Habitat deal in Nepal. It was exotic, it was far away. Most people don't get to build a house with bamboo, and so we had a chance to do that. And it was interesting to deal with the people that we were building for, because they were, in Nepal, there's still a caste system. And these people were probably in either the lowest or
they were the lowest.
Next to the lowest caste. And when we first started there, they almost wouldn't look at us because of the fact that we were caste-wise up here and they're way down there. And by the end of the week, there was some connection, although we didn't speak their language, they certainly didn't speak ours. There was a connection that provided some opportunity to see some growth in the relationship, not just in the house we built, but in the relationship between those people who saw themselves here relating to people who they think are up here. But it leveled out by the end of the week, and I thought that was pretty memorable and somewhat emotional, I would say.
Another one that I had, this one was a woman's, that one wasn't, but it was at a woman's build, and this woman worked in a smaller office, and her office crew, everybody else came to work on her house, but she had to stay back because somebody had to be there at the office. And I got to work with her manager and said, we thank you, Habitat, because we just had a meeting last week about our usual kind of meeting, and we had a problem that needed a solution, and I proposed one, and this home buyer to be came up with a better idea. She said, and before she got into Habitat, she probably had that idea, but she never would have shared it. And so she said, thank you, Habitat, for making our company better, because you've developed this skill for our employee.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just happened once, it happens certainly not every time. But it happens often enough that it's become part of what Habitat provides other than a bricks and mortar house. Opportunities for people to see themselves as being able to do things they wouldn't do normally, and having a better self-esteem, I think. It's been positive and negative. The positive part of it, of course, is providing affordable housing. The negative part, unfortunately, is there's no such thing as affordable housing anymore.
When we started looking for our first home, we couldn't afford one in the place that we were living.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So
We moved.
we looked, we had to look that we both have about an hour commute to our jobs to be able to afford a home. We decided we were going to move, and we picked up and moved 2,000 miles. So we see, the decisions and the hard decisions and the hardships that people have to deal with to be able to get into permanent housing.
When the kids were young, she said, I have 3 mortgages. The house and daycare for both kids. Yeah.
When we talk about development, you talk about legacies, and we can easily put this in our will, but that's just the financial and the tangible stuff. But the intangibles are also part of a legacy that you pass on. And so that said, you look back on the people that have made a difference in your life, and what have they given you? And a lot of times now we can appreciate it, because we are making a point to look back and see what legacy we've received, because what kind of legacy do we want to pass on to those people that we love or interact with.
And people who don't even know. Yeah, it's not a matter of saying, hey, look at us, you should do the same thing. But it's sort of, we think it's important. And if you think it's important, this is a way to continue that importance, if you will, to make sure that the organization and the mission of the organization keeps going forward, even though our part of it has stopped.
The Legacy Society gives us an opportunity to continue what is very important to us.
Yeah.
I can't imagine our retired life without Habitat.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it has been such a part of our lives that, without it is, it almost sounds good. It's unthinkable. How could you not do this?